recording. Take your cue when you want.
Well, I'm going to take these out just in case I need them. They're the ends of the asparagus. But welcome to Mrs. Calabash Cooks. Come into my kitchen. I'm Maggie. And let's see if we can get the guys with the music. There we are. They're coming in a minute. There we are. Hi, Jabor.
They lay it on the line for 20 bucks. They keep on playing, but nobody's paying more than some nickels and some dimes.
There we are. And I hope that you've all got a rather better day than we've got here in Merrickville, Ontario. It's rather damp and gunky out there, and just to make matters worse, our road is dug up. They're putting in, this is going to be a long-term thing, they're putting in sewers, but the guys that are doing the road are really kind and considerate, but there will be a time when we can't get in and out of the house. But you look out now and all the road is dug up. They dug it all up yesterday, then they levelled it all so we could get in and out during the day. Fantastic. So I'm thinking picnics again, and so we have had 3 days, 2-3 days of really nice weather. When I thought about this, it was nice weather. So we're going to do an asparagus quiche, asparagus thyme, fresh asparagus out there, with a carrot and orange salad. And so this can be eaten inside or out. It's portable. Eat it as a side dish with a barbecue. So I'm just going to have a look in the oven because I have put one in previous, because it does take quite a while to cook. So bear with me, just let me have a look in the oven. That one is cooked, and for this we need short crust pastry or a pre-made pie shell. Now I can see in my mind, I know it's here, but I've lost my flan ring. I have 2 flan rings, one for savoury, one for sweet. One's a jimpy one round the edge and the other one's a plain one. Can I find it? Can I? No. So these flan, it needs to be just a little bit larger than this. So these are the only 2 tins that I could find. I've got a vast amount of tins, but not when I was looking for them. Now I've baked this blind. So I rolled out the pastry and crumpled some aluminium foil in there like that, and we put that on 400 for about 5 to 6 minutes, and the pastry is just cooked, and by doing that it stops the pastry from rising. So that's all there is to baking blind, and this is a very simple recipe. It's 35% cream and a little milk and 2 eggs. So we're going to put those into there. Sometimes to this I add a little nutmeg. That gives a nice flavour, and I need a whisk, one of my little whisks, some salt and pepper. You could put a little cayenne pepper in there if depending what you're going to make the flan out of, or the quiche. We still call it a flan in England. So this is freshly ground black pepper. So we're just going to whisk the eggs together with the cream. And the eggs and the cream are the liaison, and that is the thickener. So pour that into there like that. Now you see I've got it on a baking sheet. This is for a reason, in case it bubbles over. Now it's ready, and I have some fresh asparagus here. I just blanched it so that we've got the nice bright green colour, and by blanching you just put it in cold water, bring it up to the boil. As soon as it boils, take it off, rinse with cold water, and then you could always just submerge into ice water, and that stops any further cooking. And so we just putting these on there. Now you notice all my asparagus pieces are quite thin. Then they're not woody, they cook better, and they do have a better flavour. So we're just going to fill this up with asparagus. Now if you wanted to put a little onion in there, saute some onion, put some onion in. A little mustard in the sauce. It's entirely up to you. But this is a very light spring dish. So we're just going to fill it up with as much asparagus as possible. Now, when we lived in France and I had the restaurant, you don't buy green asparagus. It's all white because it's blanched. They just pile the soil up on it so that it's white, and then they dig to pick the asparagus in the morning. And I was doing Laval Market, and one day in the summer, and we had asparagus, and there was a lady behind, and she came with a flatbed truck, and she just emptied it onto her table, and it was all asparagus. She had a mound like that, you couldn't see her, and I thought, my gosh, you know, she's never going to sell all that. She sold every little bit of asparagus, and it was a really good asparagus year that year. And yes, I cooked asparagus in every shape and form. That will cook. I never thought I could get fed up with asparagus. I did asparagus mousse, asparagus soup, served it as an appetizer with a nice dressing on it. You name it, I made asparagus. And so to go with that, I was thinking of colour. I'm thinking the green with the yellow and orange of an orange and carrot. So I'm just going to wash my hands. So we need about 4 cups of grated carrot. I just use the food processor and use some carrots. It's about 3 or 4 large carrots, depending. Orange. There we are. Now we're going to, like we did the other day for the citrus salad, we're going to pare the orange. It's just the same principle. Press against the flesh of the orange and go down, and you want to take away all the pith. Take that little bit off. I've tried to explain how to pare the orange. It sounds a little bit more complicated than it is. So just take it all off. And this is the same if you want to do a grapefruit or lemon, any citrus fruit. Like that. I prefer to use fresh orange than a mandarin orange for this. I find the mandarin oranges just a little bit too sweet. So now we're going to pull this in front of us and just cut a V like that, and out it pops. like that. And you see all the juice is running into the bowl, because we want that juice. Now for 6 ounces of short crust pastry, that is 3 ounces of mixed fat, so you could use butter, lard, a mixture of butter and lard, which I did today, or you could use some vegetable shortening, but it's always for a short crust pastry, it's always half fat to flour. So if you wanted to make a little bit of a larger flan ring, by all means do, but just remember, half fat to flour. And I made it up, just left it in the fridge for about a quarter of an hour, just to stop any shrinkage. Now we're going to squeeze all that juice into there like that. And I'm just going to rinse that hand, because I'm going to cut. I want everybody to have a piece of orange, so I'm actually going to cut these segments into half, like that. And we have some lemon juice, which is going in there, a little cinnamon, a little ground cinnamon, and this is some honey, a tablespoonful of honey. Now you notice my honey is somewhat stiff. It's the end of a jar of honey, and if it gets to that stage where it won't pour anymore, just slip it in the microwave for about 20 seconds. It melts and then you can just pour it out. And again, we're going to whisk this together like that, and that is going over. I need that. That is going to go over the salad. Now I would make this just about half an hour to an hour before we're going to eat, and then all the flavours mingle. Put it in the fridge and the flavours mingle. I'm going to taste that just to make sure it doesn't need any more. I haven't put any salt and pepper in. That's nice. It's lovely and fresh. So to serve the carrot, I'm going to put it in a bowl, and this is lettuce out of the garden. This was picked this morning, so just going to lay some lettuce in there. The green and the orange go lovely together. Great. The lettuce are going berserk this year. Last year we couldn't grow any because it was too hot, and this year they're the size of a cabbage. And I'm going to just put, there's a nice little knobbly bit there. It's hard to see the orange now. All blended in. Let me see if I can find a few little pieces of orange. There we are. And I've got some asparagus here. So let's just decorate up with a little asparagus around the edge. That one doesn't want to stay in. Take the edge of a spoon, the end of the spoon, and just slip. Come on. It could be a bit long, that one, actually. Put this in, like that. No, that one's too long. It's not a very deep bowl. There we are. We can get another asparagus in there. We've got plenty. Just push them around the edge so that the asparagus stays upright. And let's have a look, see what we've got on here. We need a bit of contrast. So we've got yellow and orangey red peppers. There's two pieces there. There we are. There we are. Nice piece of orange pepper. And what we've got two colours the same there. Footy. There we are. I do that. And we've got homegrown radishes. They're lovely because they've not got big and woody. They're gorgeous. Just a little bit of colour on the top there, like that. It depends what you've got in the garden. It's that time of the year when things are just coming through and they're at the best. And I think we'll do a slice, a couple of slices of tomato in the centre. Now you see, I've taken the whole out of, I've taken the core out of the top of the tomato because that one was, it was really, really hard, that core. There we go. And that is the orange and carrot salad. But I thought I'll probably be serving some green salad with this as well. And so I got the basil in the garden has gone again a little bit berserk, and it's really, really tall and it needed cutting down. So I had some basil and I thought I'd just do a basil and a basil vinaigrette, really, to go with the other salad. With having asparagus, eating the asparagus quiche, we don't want a vinaigrette which is going to overpower. So, and when you're making a vinaigrette, it's really 3 parts oil to 1 part vinegar, and then you can fiddle with it, add whatever you like to it. So here's my basil, all fresh. It smells absolutely gorgeous. And I had some green onions, so I'm going to, you could put shallots in here, a little bit of onion. I've got some green onions left over from a salad the other night, so I'm going to put the green onions in like that. A little mustard. Now this is the mustard that I made the other day. If you've seen my video, it came up today, and this is the wine mustard, and it's wine and white mustard seed. This is, I hadn't thought when I bought these jars, the nice pretty little jars, but you can't get a spoon in. So how much? About a teaspoon. Now that's half a teaspoon. You can put a Dijon mustard. You want a fairly bland mustard with this because of the asparagus. And I'm going to put a little sugar in with that. Just a little sugar, like that. And we're just going to emulsify this. And so now we're going to add the, I'm using a coconut vinegar today because again it's inoffensive, and so I'm going to use 1/4 of a cup of vinegar. There we are. Let's just wipe down the edge of my food processor, like so. And then we want 3/4 of a cup of oil. Today I'm using a grapeseed oil rather than an olive oil. Again, an olive oil could have quite a pungent flavour, and with this asparagus I want the asparagus to have the flavour, to be the paramount. So I'm going to put one in. You can whisk it at this stage, but we're only making an emulsion. One, don't let me forget how many I've put in. 2, there's nothing, you don't even need a little food processor. You can do it just by chopping. I like to make my own salad dressings, and then I know how much sugar's going in there, because a lot of the bought salad dressings are very, very high in sugar, and that's the last thing I need. Whoops, look at it. There we are. So we just give that a little whiz. We'll taste it for seasoning. I can use that one. I'm going to put just a little salt in there and a little pepper to bring out the flavour. It tastes nice and sharp, which is what I wanted. There we are. Let's get rid of all this. My cloth. And my hands that are oily. There we are. And I've got a little stainless steel, this is rather sweet, a little stainless steel pourer, and so we're going to put that in, and I let everybody help themselves. Would, if I could get it off. There we are. And that is a nice vinaigrette. If you're doing an appetizer with the asparagus, just gently cook just gently, it's no more than blanching really, and then have some of this vinaigrette and pour that over, and that makes a really nice appetizer. It's not heavy, and this time of the year you're not heating up the kitchen. I'll just have a look in the oven, but it's not going to be ready yet. It's cooking, but I had this one a bit like Blue Peter. This is one I prepared earlier. And again, I've got a nice flat serving dish. You want a dish with that doesn't come up, a nice flat dish. And so we're going to lay some lettuce. Just press that down with the lettuce to make it lie flat. It tastes so much nicer out of the garden. It's got a lovely nutty flavour. I love it. Oh, look, we've got one little radish left in there. There we are. And this is where you keep your fingers crossed that you can actually get it out of the flan dish. And this is where it's, I'm looking, there we are. This is where it's really nice if you've got a flan ring, because you just lift the flan ring and then move it. So slide this round the edge like this. I dread to think how old this dish is. I've got a feeling it was my mother's. There we are. I've got two of these, and they're just large enough for Derek and I. We can have one meal and a little bit left over. So let's do a little bit of decoration again. Some radish. With the ends of the asparagus, because I cut the ends off, the woody bits, don't throw them away. I make soup out of those. Or if I'm cooking a stew, you know, a chicken pieces, then I use them. I don't throw those away. They've got a lot of flavour in. Because we might do it if the strawberries, if we get a nice glut of strawberries, I'll make a cold strawberry soup, and it's you're probably going, ugh, I don't fancy that, but it's absolutely delicious. Because soups don't always have to be hot. I make a nice cold lemon soup. And it's really refreshing in the summer. There we are. So we've got a little bit of colour. This dish is my grandmother's. So, and I'm 70, and she was 77 when she died. So I was, I think I was 9, and so this is Granny's, and so it is quite old, but I love to use it. There's not much point in keeping it in the cupboard. Now you see, looking at it, that isn't in the centre. That's me. I apologise. I was working in a store. I used to sell washing machines, and I was working in a store in Devon. And we had a window display, the firm that I was working for, and the window dresser, and we got checks. Everything was check. So the window dresser came and along and said, "Is everything straight? You know, does it look okay?" I said, "Oh yeah, it's great." And he went, and everything was on a slant like that because my eye doesn't see straight lines. I can't, for the life of me, I can't draw a straight line. I measure, and then it still goes on a tilt. So don't rely on me to get everything nicely even. So that is the flan and the salad. And next week, because it'll be our Canada Day on the 1st, and so next week, I'm just trying to think what I'm doing. I know. I'm going to be making, it's chicken breasts marinated in a spicy yogurt. And then this is a total kickback to my childhood. I'm going to make coconut pyramids. And so I'm thinking Canada Day, St. John the Baptiste Day, 4th of July, barbecue. You can barbecue. And I'm thinking, well, last year it was so hot we could hardly stand outside with the barbecue. This year, is it going to rain? Whatever I'm making can be either made outside or brought inside and have an inside barbecue. So I look forward to seeing you again next week, next Friday. Let's see if I can get Jabor again. Ha.
20 bucks.
Yes!
20 bucks. Their fingers bleed for 20 bucks.
Bye guys. Bye guys. Bye everyone. Thank you for coming in today, and have a really happy Canada Day, St. John the Baptiste Day, and enjoy the weekend. Bye.